Hi, this is Tiffany and Daniel with Rosenbaum Realty Group, and today we're talking about the trends in the industry. If you're in property management, or if you own a property, it is so incredibly important that you stay up on the trends and laws that are changing ever so rapidly. One of the things that we do that we feel that is so important is we go to at least 4 conferences a year to stay up on everything that's changing. Daniel, what's something that you learned at the very last conference that we went to?
The most recent conference I attended was the Middle Market Multifamily IMN conference. And a lot of takeaways for me were where's the market heading with multifamily properties? And the cap rates are heading up, prices are lowering, and rent increases have definitely decreased. And so there's a lot of, I heard one of the participants, one of the speakers said, it's all about survival at this point because a lot of people are way over leveraged. They talked about negative leverage. They talked about cap rates, where they're heading. And so it's pretty interesting on where the market's headed. So it's very important. It's critical to stay up on market trends, especially for multifamily properties. It's also important for single family and any asset class that you're invested in. So it's very critical.
What's important about this is what you talk about is the trends right here. And it's talking about how it's softening, right? And why is that so important? Because if you are a person that thinks, I can still increase my rent, and really that's not really what's going on, then your resident's going to move out and you're going to be like, what just happened? If you know that rents are softening, then you go into the renewal process at a whole nother game, meaning you're going, okay, we're not at a situation where we can raise rents $100. We're at a situation where we need to keep them. So this is why it's so important to understand the trends and make sure you stay up on what's going on in the industry.
Exactly. And another thing to focus on is, what are the best practices? Okay. The other reason why we go to different national conferences regularly every year, multiple of these conferences, is because we keep up on best practices, and we also learn and mastermind with people. You get ideas from other operators that are nationwide, so you get best practices so that you can take those, implement it into your own team of what's the best way to handle situations and what's the best way to grow among different challenges. So it's fantastic.
One of the things you said is that they talked about cap rates rising. Maybe not all of our viewers understand what a cap rate is. Can you explain to our viewers what a cap rate is, Daniel?
I'd be happy to. The cap rate is, simply put, it's the net operating income divided by the purchase price. Okay, so for example, if you have an NOI of $100,000, okay, and you bought the property for $1 million, that's a 0.1 cap rate or 10% cap rate, which is fantastic. Okay. There have been reports, and I've seen properties sell for less than a 3 cap rate. Okay. And these are these people that are now hurting very much. Yes. And they're upside down because the property, in fact, in many cases, on several multifamily properties, they're not worth the loan that's on them. Okay. If they went and they did high leverage, or they did bridge financing, or they did, a floating rate, as it's called. Okay, a floating rate, which is a variable market rate. That's gonna adjust. Okay, and a lot of the first adjustments are gonna happen in the middle of 2024, and then they're gonna be adjusting as well coming up because they have adjustments on them. So if they got a floating rate, well, the interest rates are now way up, and these properties are not even gonna be worth the debt that's on them. So they're in a scary position. The other thing that this puts why you need to pay attention to the market trends is because it can also put you on watch and put you on notice of what's coming up on the horizon, and be able to be in a position to invest and take advantage of these opportunities when the market comes down for multifamily properties. It's a great opportunity to do those things. So going back to the cap rate, simply the net operating income divided by the purchase price. What is the net operating income, NOI? It's simply all of your income, okay, less all of your expenses, okay, and that includes, your vacancy, bad credit, vacancy, and it includes maintenance. It also includes property taxes, insurance, and every time there's any expense related to the property, it's on there, okay. And it also includes, where a lot of people don't factor in, property management. Okay, we've always factored in having a property management fee. And so all those things, that is how you come up with the net operating income.
I think what you said right there is very important. You have to take everything. I've talked to many investors even that I don't consider that part of maintenance. I'm like, well, then you're not getting your NOI. You need to make sure you're calculating everything. And I have someone that came to me just last week. Well, how do you know what the electricity bill is going to be if they pay it, or water bill? You call the city and say, they can't tell you exactly. You can say, hey, I need like a running, what's the average? Then you can get an average, do a little bit of research to understand and make sure you understand what your maintenance is on that property. Because there's people that get into properties every day that don't really know, and then they're upside down or they're not making good money. Real estate is a great investment, but you need to know what you're getting into. Otherwise, you're gambling it. And I don't like to gamble. I want to make sure it's a good investment.
Besides attending annual conferences and staying up on our craft with property management, some other reasons why you should choose your property management carefully is because you want to be able to trust somebody. Okay, you got to like them, trust them, and know them, right? And we've been in the business well over a decade. We have a proven track record of success, and we're investors ourselves. We've been doing long-term buy and hold strategy since 2000, for well over a decade of our own properties. And I'm a Gilbert native. We're local to the Phoenix market. I'm a local to Gilbert, and we love real estate. We're very passionate about real estate. What are some of the reasons why they should choose to work with you, Tiffany?
I think one of the most important things is when I bring on an investor, or we bring on an investor, to me, I understand what matters is the bottom line. Literally, trust, everything comes down to the bottom line. If an investor's making money, then they're happy. An investor's not making money, they're not happy. Same with me. If I'm not making money on a property, I'm like, what's going on, But that's what I take into consideration when an investor comes on. It's a relationship, but I also know that bottom line needs to be looked at all the time to figure out, is this a relationship that can last? Meaning, like you said, you got to factor in property management. If you're going to hire a property management company, you got to factor that in. And so I look at the relationship going into it, eyes 100% open. And when you bring on a property with me, I'm going to look at that bottom line all the time to figure out how to make sure you're making money. But I have to know the whole story. Meaning, I'm going to ask you, what's your mortgage? Can you handle a property management company, or can you not? And some of those questions have to be asked. They're hard questions, but they have to be asked. But I do say the relationship that we bring is a whole nother aspect, because I know the bottom line is the bottom line. And we can love each other. We can have a great relationship. But if you're not making money, it doesn't make sense, right? Like literally, you have to make money or it's not a win-win. And so as I understand that, that's why I'm different than most people out there, because I understand it's your bottom line. And if you're not making money, you're not happy. And that's my entire goal.
We are the investor's choice because we understand the bottom line. We understand what it takes, what's required to have success in owning real estate.